Yay, it worked! Well, I think it says it worked. I'm hoping that it worked, Grimmer. I think so.
It looks like it.
Oh, my. I mean, it's always something, right? So, some of you probably think we're not going live today because it took us 20 minutes or more to actually uh, break through whatever issue was going on this end. We don't know. It just kept telling us that it could not start the live video.
Yep. Cannot start live stream.
So, be that as it may, here we are anyways.
Can they hear us okay? Are we hearable?
Maybe. I don't think many people are here yet. Christy Reed, hello. Can you hear us okay? Because just a few minutes ago, we couldn't go live for some reason. But yes, they can hear us.
Good.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, here we
Happy
are.
Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy May 3rd, 2023. Couple days after
Can't quite see the date block.
Beltane. Yeah, I got to figure out a better place for it. You can see just a little bit of the 3, but how are you all? How is every witch? This has been kind of an interesting day for us. And we're getting ready for the psychic fair and night market here at the old church. That's this evening. And so today in the comments, when it wanted me to describe, what the 420-ish tarot is about, I wrote twists and turns and maybe pizza. Because the last time we did a night market, all the vendors decided that they were hungry toward the end of it.
Mhm.
And that we should have ordered pizza or something together.
Oh.
So I'm, ever the foodie, thinking
Now.
I'm hoping that we get I'm hoping that we get some pizza tonight, Grimmer. We need pizza. We truly do.
Okay, we'll make that happen.
Comfort food. Do you know I actually
I'm
heard
actually at a loss today of what to talk about.
I actually have to tell you something interesting.
What?
Did you know that pizza I think has always been like America's favorite go-to food choice, right? Well, maybe not always, but I mean in the last several decades.
Mm-hmm.
But actually now pizza sales are up because you can actually you get more bang for your buck for a pizza than you do like when you go to McDonald's or any other kind of fast food. It's just like it's so expensive.
It's so stupidly priced. Yeah.
Right. I like
Here's one for you.
I like it when you make pizza, but we don't really have an oven that we can do that with unless we go down to the other. You're thinking about it though.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna start making my pizza again. But
you are a really good pizza guy.
When you're talking about pizza sales going up because of what the economy's doing, here's one that's good for you to contemplate.
Okay.
Coca-Cola had a 13% profit increase this year over last, but their sales only grew by 1%.
How did that occur?
13% profit increase on a 1% sales increase. That's a lot of money.
Well,
I have the answer.
well, I don't feel like thinking deeply about that kind of bullshit. So you better provide me with the answer, Graham.
They opened up new markets.
Where at?
Third world countries.
Oh, great. Let's despoil their. I mean, so there's already so much starvation and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Why not introduce, a really toxic drink? Sure. I mean, did you say it was Pepsi or Cola?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. And is that the Nestle Corporation or is that its own?
No, they're their own
Nestle
standalone.
is Pepsi, right?
I don't remember. I think Pepsi's its own
No,
too.
no, no.
No,
Dasani and I think those are all.
underneath.
We should look
I'll look that
before
one
we
up.
talk about it.
Yeah, I know Coca-Cola is its own
Oh my
standalone
gosh.
Fortune
Well,
500.
either way, that is really too bad. And probably in some of those countries that, like I know we recently just watched a show, a documentary about this little, it's like a floating
Village.
village. Literally, it's big enough that there's like, I don't know, several hundred people that live there.
Are you talking? Oh, okay. I got my bearings crossed. Yet there's the floating village, which is that used to be
I think there are
predominantly,
several of
yeah. But
those.
the one I think you're talking about is in Asia Pacific Islands, and they've built their village on stilts on the water. They float on the water. Most their entire lives are essentially on the water, and it traces back to the indigenous fishing peoples of that
Mhm,
particular part of the
mhm.
world who yeah, they
Yeah, they
grass and
probably
land.
need some Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
don't they?
they need some Coca
I'm
Cola.
sure they do.
But I think the documentary that we watched really shows something though, because if you think about the fact that they were swimming around in the filth of the Western culture, detritus that washes up on their reed map shores that they build their villages on.
Yeah, but they also don't have any of their own
No,
trash
and that
facilities, so it's their own
yeah,
waste that they're also swimming
I
in.
was saying now that they're no longer living off the land, they're living off of what the vending machines provide. They're contributing to the own pollution in the
Right.
waters too. So
And probably we'll see another rise in diabetes and
yeah,
that's too bad. That is too bad. I mean, yay, I guess if you're a Coca-Cola executive, CEO or whatever, um, you know. And I know that I used to be a school teacher in a part of the country where many people were employed by one of those factories, and it, sustained the the economy of the area. So I'm not, disparaging. It's just, I guess, it's just the whole greed concept, especially Grim. I mean, not to toot our own horn. I mean, you and I have everything except for the keys to a car. We have everything. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But we have everything we need. I mean,
hmm
when I think about my wants and needs, my needs are met, and that was always what we asked the universe to just make sure that
hmm
our heinies were always sleeping someplace safe, and and it has definitely gone that way. But and I don't know why I'm talking about that.
greed is where you were
Oh
at.
yeah, I was thinking about greed. It's just now that you and I are, I mean, Grim and I are very judicial about how we spend the money that we do earn. I mean, there are a lot of scam artists out there making a lot more money off of our name by selling crystals as the two of us and selling other things that we
Divination
don't even want
services.
to talk
Oh
about
yeah.
under our name. And but the actual two of us, we actually live a very frugal life. And the the greed concept is one that has always evaded me. I mean, if somebody walked up right now and said, "Hey, I just, won this lottery, and Gussie, I want to gift it all to you. Here's, several $1 million." Would I say no, no, no? Corporate greed is blah blah blah. I would not. I'm not an idiot. I wouldn't turn it down.
hmm
But I also just I don't know how to stop the corporate greed monster from just continuing to churn.
hmm
I was out shopping with Christine yesterday. We were out for a long number of hours and going through a store. It's called Meyer. It's kind of like a Target, but a local one here in Michigan. And so we were going through the aisles. You could do grocery shopping there, and
It was like a Walmart.
Yeah, like a Walmart, but local. And we're going through the aisles, and I was just thinking about how I have read that list of former organic natural companies that touted their products as being natural and organic,
Hmm.
and how they've even switched over to the corporate, plunder,
Hmm.
and some names that I have kind of depended on through the years as being somebody that I could rely on. Some of those names are now under the name of Unilever and
Johnson and
Nestle,
Johnson,
and yeah, and it's
Purina.
just, I don't mean to be talking about sadness. This is a Friday, and hell, you know what? Um,
Well, I think it ties in beautifully with tonight, though, Psychic Night with the market,
how's that?
because
Oh yeah,
our night market, our and our Mystic Fair, we are really trying to curate everything that gets sold by any of the vendors there is something that is handcrafted, handmade, locally sourced, not corporate created.
well, that's what we've been about now for several years, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's just hard to get everybody on the same page. You
Well,
know,
it's hard.
it especially when you've got, like, no offense against any of you out there, because I'll bet you if I asked someone to raise their hand, if you purchase off Timu, I'm sure a number of people do. Timu and Grim and we still get caught in the Amazon train once in a while, don't we? I mean,
If there's thing, but I will say that we mostly reserve Amazon for those things that we can't source locally.
yeah, we do. We do.
We did try Temu a couple of times. Not impressed myself, but part of that not being impressed is that I'm not going to say it was the quality of the product that we ordered because I can't complain about that aspect of it. But there was something missing. There was a hollowness
There's
about
a
it
hollowness to it.
that I personally just can't get around.
Right. Yeah, there is a hollowness to it. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. I've got a little bag of crystals that are floating around here somewhere from there. And, I look at them and I'm like, what am I going to do with these? Because the energy that's coming off of them is sort of just null.
Hmm.
It's just, I don't know. There's something missing
But
from it.
now that they're in production, they should be honored in that regard. Let not the energies that went into displacing them go to waste.
Exactly. That is very, very true. But some of them I think are, synthetic, man-made imitations,
Hmm.
and that's a sad thing too,
Yeah.
is that people are being sold what they're told is an authentic, crystal of some sort, and really, um, it
It's something
isn't.
fabricated in some
Right,
way, shape, or
right,
form.
right, right. So hey, should we draw a card?
Yeah, let's do something happy.
Let's do something happy, because damn, 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 we're going, and I don't even have my
and
bell. I
and
can't
don't
ring my little bell.
don't take this conversation from Gussie and I as us
Gonna clear the
judging,
air here.
yeah, judging or saying that if you use places like Amazon, Walmart, Temu, and things like that, that you're somehow less than.
No,
We do not view you in that way in any way, shape, or form.
we just try not to.
We and I think some of that does stem from we are very frugal with our money. What we do make, we're very cognizant of where it goes. And if we're going to spend it, we want to spend it with places that resonate with us holistically as much as possible. And not everybody is in that mindset nor in a position to be able to do
Right,
that.
right.
So,
And I'm sure some of our sellers, some of our vendors,
mm-hmm.
I never ask where they get some of their items from, but I think for the most part, everyone tries to ethically
Yes.
source, and
Well, yeah, that's one of the requirements in becoming a vendor here is that you agree that you're trying your damnedest.
well, yeah, you can agree to try your damnedest, but I mean, I have seen some things like slip across
Yeah.
that I'm going, saw that last week on for half that price, but okay. But I just, and not any of our current vendors, by the way. We've been we've been doing this for over a year
Hmm.
now, the Mystic Fair,
Yeah.
It'll be 2 years in January, December. 2 years in December.
Wow.
So let's pull a card, Grimmer,
Yeah, because we've got vendors that are going to start showing up
and
here.
we've just been talking about goddess knows what.
We've got vendors hanging out at Subway across the street right now.
Oh, do we really? Okay. Well, let's pull a card. There it's Subway across the street. Ooh, look at that. A card pulled itself. Well, and isn't that an interesting one? It's the Temperance card in the reverse. So let's see what this has to do with us today, shall we? I'll show you what the card looks like. This is that deck, the Dark Mansion Tarot that I was gifted, and this is the first time I've seen this particular card. It's quite lovely. I'll turn it this way as well.
I'm sitting here trying to put that card in reverse into relationship with where we flew today with our topic. I'm stumped.
Well, temperance is always about finding balance. It's not about having too much or having too little. It's having just the right amount. It's knowing when you're out, at a club with friends, it's knowing when you should probably take your last drink and when you should ask for a cup of coffee or a glass of water.
Okay.
It's knowing when you should or should not eat that last, handful of cookies in your hand.
Greed.
Well, temperance is the balance of that. It's the
Yes.
balance of it. So when the temperance card is and by the way, when it comes to temperance, it's like we all determine where our own where our own tipping point is.
Our own balance.
Our own right. So you can't look at Grimm and I and assume, your own moral compass. You can't really design it based on the way Grimm and I feel about life, because really you are your own person. You have your own set of values and ideas, and so the same goes for when you're looking for temperance or balance in your life in any way. What I might find something abhorrent that you shouldn't do, you might be like sort of okay with it, and that's fine, and vice versa.
As an example, we have a friend that there isn't a drug, synthetic or natural, that they won't try. But with that said, before any usage of said drug, and they will use it once, they will research the snot out of it. They will understand it from a scientific and an emotional standpoint, left, right, and forward, before they try it. Then they analyze it and determine if that's one that they want to put into their daily, weekly, monthly, yearly routine. Do I approve of this person's intake of any and all drugs, regardless of their source? No. But I do it
Do I
myself.
know who it is?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Don't tell me.
It's not somebody, or not something that I would want to do. That's but I'm not going to judge this person because of what they do. At least I can accept that they do it intelligently.
Well, the thing about the temperance card in the reverse position is that there is something that we're out of balance about. And what I try to remind not only you, but also myself and Grim when I have the chance, is that energy is constantly moving around us. It's constantly in flow. It's constantly going. There are vibrations. You can't see them around you right now. There are vibrational energy frequencies around you at this very moment. They're surrounding you. They are a part of you. They move through you. Our bodies adjust to them. They reverberate and adjust to the different tones and tunes that go floating around through us all the time. But when we're somehow thinking that our energy is depleted, that we're just exhausted and it's not going to come from anywhere, if you feel like your vessel is empty, you're looking at it the wrong way. You need to readjust your thinking just a little bit. Your vessel may be feeling empty, but that's because no one, including you, is filling it back up with the needed energy that you need to. Okay? If you allow that energy to flow, if you allow the universe to give back what you are, you offer the universe something, it gives back in return, vice versa. It's a beautiful symbiotic flow. When you're in relationships with people and you're giving of yourself and you are, participating um, in the communication of loving other folks, we tend to give of ourselves. We tend to, out of love, we will sometimes give our last drop because we love and respect that person. But if we're not getting it in return, we've got to fill our own cups up ourselves. If we don't, we're just going to dwindle. And this card, this temperance card in the reverse, is a reminder that, yes, don't forget that while you are out there filling other people's cups and you're reminding them of the beauty of this universe, you're reminding them of the love and the light available to them, as you're reminding them that, they can heal parts of themselves. It's not all lost to hope right now. Ask any number of folks that join us here at 420. You'll find that we're all moving forward in positive ways. Hasn't always been easy or the swiftest route, but we are surely on that path. Once in a while we need to just take a step back and remind ourselves to fill our own cups, to take some time to reset, to allow ourselves to rejuvenate. The energy is there 24/7 nonstop. It never goes away. It's up to you to plug in. Just like if you have one of those fancy uh, electric vehicles, the EVs right now, you got to know how far you can go, just like gasoline, right? But how far you can go before you need to replug and recharge. You learn to know your car just like you learn to know your body. How far can you push your body before it really gives in? And why do you want to do that to it in the first place? Let's all, beginning today, start fresh, knowing that the temperance, the balance that we're looking at, that we're looking for, it's available to us at all times around us right now. We just need to remind ourselves of it. We need to breathe it in. We need to remember who we are. And we need to connect with that balancing energy. The earth provides it. The universe provides it. We just need to tap into it. And I know y'all can do it. I know y'all can do it. I can do it. And it just sometimes we need a little bit of a reminder. For those of you that are like, I don't know why Dusty pulled this temperance card, and it doesn't really sound like me. It looks to me, because I can see that there are a few of you that doesn't really resonate with, but it's like you're not really looking under the surface. You're looking on the top of everything, and on the top of everything it all looks, like things are going swell. There's nothing disruptive on the surface. But if you really want to do your shadow work, and you really want to address some of these things that, it's time to let them go, it's time to move on. We've talked about that ad nauseum. Sometimes the best way to sometimes do it is just to acknowledge that even though there are things that, may be known or unknown to you at this point, but if they're no longer serving a positive purpose, let them go. Regardless of whether each little bit of whatever you're letting go or not, that's not the important part. The important part is balance and allowing yourself the space to also bring in the healing, balancing light that your soul craves, that you crave during this lifetime. You crave it. I know you do. It's like when you go outside in the sun and you are able to take your shoes off and walk through the grass and just have a carefree day and not think twice for just even 10 minutes sometimes. Sometimes that's all it takes to recharge. Sometimes it takes a little longer than that. Sometimes we end up trying to meditate and we end up falling asleep and taking a nap. Trust your body. Trust your body as it guides you through this. None of us have ever been through this transition before. At least not to my knowledge. None of us have been through this type of a transition before. And I can feel it. I can feel it. I know you can too. Like on the edge of our seat, something's about to shift, something's about to change. And as much as I love that feeling, I also, kind of wish that I knew what was right around the corner. But that's why we are withstanding together. That's why we are here. That's why we join together in friendship. That's why we remind one another of balance, balance, balance whenever possible. And some of you reach out to me and remind me that I need to take time for myself, and I appreciate that because we all do from time to time need to be reminded that we're important and we're special, and we also need to take care of the old home because otherwise things get off balance, and before you know it, you're not feeling well. And mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit. All right, y'all. Well, Grim has left me here. I think there must be vendors arriving. So I'm going to bid you adieu for today. Uh, if I'm up to it tomorrow, I might just post you a 420 because tomorrow is, May the 4th. And so if you don't hear from Grim and I, may the 4th be with you tomorrow. And also have a wonderful Cinco de Mayo on Sunday. We're having nachos and tacos down at the park if it's sunny with our little group of Soul Care Sunday brunch participants. We've been getting together now for about 2 months on Sundays. And so if you're local, you're more than welcome. Or if you're in town on one of our Sunday brunches, you're more than welcome to join us 12 to 2. As always, if you want to book a reading with me, you can go to www.openthepurpledoor.com. That's the best way to book it. Also, shoot me a text and let me know that you're doing it. Make sure you got the right Gussie, because I know there are some scam artists out there, and so just make sure you got the right person. Um, and also, what was I going to say? 9 p.m. 9 p.m. tonight, Pause for Peace. That is something we've been doing for a few years now, and it is something that I look forward to every night. We just ground ourselves, take some breaths, make sure you're in a space where you can do this. You don't want a bunch of people running around or traffic or whatever, but even so, maybe in the midst of all that chaos is exactly when you do need to you know, take a minute, take some deep breaths, let go of what has kind of clung to you through the day, things that bothered you, things that are influencing you in a negative fashion that you don't need. You just don't need it. So let those go. And then as you breathe in, this other welcoming new energy, breathe in the positive potential of you. Those seeds we've been talking about planting of you, right? Finding your balance, finding your temperance, but knowing that you're planting some seeds that are going to be fruitful. In spite of the fact that the world is kind of falling apart, we're still growing, we're still glowing. Stay magical. Love y'all. See you on Monday.